The cameras loved Arnold Schwarzenegger. The flashbulbs popped, and journalists shouted questions as he strode confidently down another red carpet, his trademark smile firmly in place. At 63, he still commanded the room with the same magnetic presence that had defined his decades-long reign as Hollywood's ultimate action hero. His latest film had just crossed the $1 billion mark worldwide. 3 more blockbuster offers sat on his desk. His charitable foundations were thriving. By all outward metrics, Arnold Schwarzenegger was living the quintessential American dream. The immigrant who had conquered bodybuilding, Hollywood, and even politics. A success story without parallel. Yet in quiet moments alone in his sprawling Pacific Palisades estate, Arnold felt a weight pressing down that no amount of physical training could lift. Success had brought everything except the one thing he couldn't seem to find. Purpose. Real purpose. Not the manufactured kind that came with movie premieres and political photo ops. Fame had become a familiar prison. Money had long since stopped bringing joy. And despite his carefully cultivated public image of invincibility, time was catching up to the man once crowned Mr. Universe. Mr. Schwarzenegger, we're ready for you now. The nurse's voice pulled him from his thoughts. He nodded, following her down the sterile hospital corridor. Just a routine heart valve replacement. His second one. Nothing to worry about for a man who had built his life around physical perfection and iron discipline. The doctors had assured him the procedure was low risk. He would be back to his normal schedule within weeks. "I'll be back," he had joked to his assistant that morning, delivering his famous line with practiced ease even as something unfamiliar flickered in his chest. Not fear exactly. Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't do fear, but perhaps a quiet recognition that even Terminators weren't truly unstoppable. The operating room was cold, clinical, efficient. Arnold focused on the ceiling as the anesthesiologist prepared his medication. "Count backward from 10, Mr. Schwarzenegger. 10, 9, 8. His voice sounded distant to his own ears. 7, 6. The world began to fade. 5, and then nothing. The procedure had been progressing normally for 47 minutes when the first alarm sounded. Arnold's blood pressure plummeted. His heart rhythm became erratic, then flatlined. "He's coding," the surgeon announced, voice steady but urgent. "Beginning resuscitation protocol." For 3 minutes, Arnold Schwarzenegger was clinically dead on the operating table as medical professionals fought to bring him back. But Arnold was no longer in that operating room. He was somewhere else entirely. The first sensation was weightlessness. Not the kind he had experienced in underwater scenes during film shoots, but a profound absence of physical burden. The pain that had become his constant companion through years of pushing his body to extremes had vanished. He was floating through what appeared to be endless layers of luminous mist that shifted color with gentle, hypnotic rhythms. There was no up or down, no left or right, just profound, peaceful motion through ever-changing light. Time seemed to fold and unfurl around him like fabric. A moment might have been a century just a heartbeat. Arnold found himself strangely unconcerned with this impossibility. It felt right somehow, natural, as though he was experiencing time as it truly was, rather than the rigid, linear construct he had known throughout his life. As he drifted, the mist gradually parted to reveal what appeared to be a vast garden unlike any on Earth. Flowers of impossible colors swayed in a breeze he couldn't feel but somehow understood. Trees with crystalline trunks reached toward a sky that pulsed with gentle radiance. And there, seated on what appeared to be a bench formed of pure light, was a figure waiting for him. The being was neither male nor female, yet somehow both and neither seemed important. It radiated a calm authority that made Arnold's most commanding movie roles seem like childish posturing. Its form shifted subtly, never quite settling into one definite shape, yet maintaining a humanoid appearance that felt somehow familiar and deeply alien at once. But it was the eyes that captured Arnold's attention. Deep, ancient eyes that seemed to contain entire galaxies within them. Eyes that had witnessed the birth and death of stars. Eyes that saw everything, including the carefully hidden corners of Arnold Schwarzenegger's soul that he had never allowed anyone to glimpse. "Hello, Arnold," the being said, its voice like distant music. "I've been waiting for you." Arnold felt no surprise at being recognized. Something within him understood that this being knew him completely. Not the public persona he had crafted over decades, but the true Arnold. The boy from Thal, Austria. The son who had never quite earned his father's approval. The ambitious immigrant with dreams larger than life. The husband who had failed his family. The man behind the muscles and the movies and the political power plays. Am I dead? It wasn't quite a question the way Arnold said it. More of a calm observation. The being's smile was gentle. For this moment, you exist between. Neither fully there nor fully here. A graceful gesture indicated the garden surrounding them. This is a threshold space. A place of seeing truth. Arnold found himself drawn to sit beside the being on the bench of light. As he did, images began to appear in the air before them like scenes projected onto the mist. Arnold recognized moments from his life unfolding in perfect detail. Winning Mr. Olympia for the first time. The exhilaration on the set of Pumping Iron. The premiere of The Terminator. His wedding day. The birth of his children. His inauguration as governor of California. But these weren't just replays of events as they had happened. He was experiencing them with a new awareness, feeling not just his own emotions but the impact each moment had on others around him. The ripples his actions had created. Some beautiful, others painful. You have lived a remarkable life by earthly standards, the being observed. You have achieved everything you set out to accomplish. Fame, fortune, influence, power. The being's eyes reflected infinite compassion. Yet here you are, feeling more alone than the boy who left Austria with nothing but determination and dreams. Something cracked within Arnold's carefully maintained composure. Here, in this place beyond physical reality, he felt no need to uphold the invincible image he had spent a lifetime constructing. I built an empire, he said, his accent more pronounced in this vulnerable moment. I became exactly who I said I would become. Why isn't it enough? The being nodded as though this was the question it had been waiting for. Because empires crumble, Arnold. Bodies fail. Fame fades. Even the mightiest stars eventually burn out. The being gestured, and new images appeared in the mist. These were smaller moments. Arnold signing an autograph for a child whose face lit up with joy. A private donation made to a family in need. A moment of genuine laughter shared with his children away from cameras. These are the moments that echo through eternity. I don't understand, Arnold said, though something within him resonated with the being's words. Humans measure strength by what can be conquered. We measure it by what can be connected. The being's form shimmered slightly, its light pulsing with a rhythm like a heartbeat. Your physical power impressed millions. Your movies entertained them. Your political decisions affected their lives. But did you truly connect with them? Did you allow yourself to be truly known, truly vulnerable? Arnold watched as more scenes played before him. Moments when he had chosen his career over family. Times when maintaining his image had prevented genuine intimacy. Opportunities for connection he had missed while pursuing the next achievement, the next milestone, the next conquest. I've been fighting the wrong battles all along, Arnold confessed, his voice stripped of its commanding tone, replaced by the vulnerability he'd spent decades concealing from the world. The admission felt both painful and freeing. I thought strength meant never showing weakness, never admitting doubt or fear or needing anyone else. The being's light seemed to envelop him in gentle warmth. The strongest trees bend with the wind, Arnold. They grow deep roots that connect with others beneath the surface. They give shelter and sustenance without asking for recognition. For the first time in many years, perhaps since childhood, Arnold felt tears form in his eyes. Not from physical pain or loss, but from recognition of a truth he had always somehow known, but had buried beneath layers of ambition and the armor of his public persona. Is it too late? Again, not quite a question. The being's expression held infinite compassion. It is never too late to realign your heart with its true purpose. To choose connection over conquest. To find strength in vulnerability rather than in vulnerability. As they sat in contemplative silence, the garden around them seemed to pulse with life and meaning. Arnold noticed that the trees, while appearing to stand independently, had roots that visibly intertwined beneath the surface, creating an intricate network of mutual support and nourishment. The flowers, diverse in their colors and forms, turned not in competition, but in harmony, each one's beauty enhancing rather than diminishing the others. Your time here is brief, the being said after what might have been moments or millennia. You will return soon, but you will carry something back with you if you choose to remember. Arnold felt a strange pulling sensation, as though some invisible thread were tugging him back toward his physical form. The luminous garden began to fade around him, the colors dimming, the light receding. "Wait," he called out to the being whose form was becoming increasingly transparent. "I still have questions. I need to know more." The being's smile was the last thing visible as the garden dissolved completely. "The answers you seek aren't found here, Arnold. They're found in the connections you make when you return, in the love you give without expectation, in the genuine self you allow others to see." And then there was darkness. The rhythmic sound of medical equipment penetrated the darkness. Arnold felt a crushing weight return to his body. The weightlessness was gone. The pain was back. The limitations of physical form reasserted themselves with jarring intensity. "We got him back. Stabilizing now." A voice filtered through, clinical and focused. BP rising to normal range. Heart rhythm stabilizing. Another voice, tense with relief. "Mr. Schwarzenegger, can you hear me?" A third voice, closer now. Arnold's eyes fluttered open to the harsh reality of the operating room. Faces masked and concerned hovered above him. The crisis had passed. He was alive again. Or perhaps, he thought with unexpected clarity, truly alive for the first time. Recovery was slow and hidden from public view. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the man who had built his identity on physical perfection and indomitable strength, found himself confronting the reality of his own mortality and limitations in the privacy of his home. No cameras documented this journey. No press releases detailed his struggles. For once, he allowed himself to simply be human, without the pressure of living up to the larger-than-life image he had created. During those quiet weeks of recovery, Arnold made several phone calls that surprised his business team. He declined 3 action movie offers that would have earned him tens of millions. Instead, he began quietly setting up a new foundation focused not on the grand, public-facing charitable work he had done before, but on creating spaces for genuine connection in underprivileged communities. Community gardens where people could grow food together. Mentorship programs that focused on emotional intelligence alongside academic achievement. Places where strength could be redefined beyond the physical. When he finally returned to public view at a film industry charity event, close observers noticed subtle changes. The familiar commanding presence remained, but there was a new quality to his interactions. He listened more than he spoke. He made eye contact that lingered with genuine interest rather than strategic networking calculation. He asked questions and waited for real answers. The famous Schwarzenegger confidence had transformed from armored invulnerability to authentic engagement. Several months after his surgery, during his first televised interview, the journalist inevitably asked about his brush with death. The camera zoomed in as Arnold's expression shifted subtly. "They tell me I was clinically dead for 3 minutes," he said with the slight smile that had charmed audiences for decades. "Did I see anything? Have some kind of experience?" He paused, clearly weighing his words carefully. The Arnold of before would have deflected with a joke or pivoted to promote his next project. But this Arnold simply nodded. "Let's just say, I finally understand what matters. And it isn't being the Terminator." The internet exploded with speculation about what exactly Arnold Schwarzenegger had experienced during those 3 minutes. Religious commentators claimed it as evidence of the afterlife. Scientists offered explanations about oxygen deprivation and hallucinations. Fans created endless memes and theories. Through it all, Arnold maintained a thoughtful silence on the details, neither confirming nor denying the various interpretations of his cryptic statement. What the public did notice was the gradual evolution of his public work. His social media, once dominated by workout videos and promotional content, began featuring moments of genuine connection with ordinary people. His speeches at events focused less on his own achievements and more on the importance of community and mutual support. He became an unexpected advocate for emotional vulnerability, particularly among men who had been raised to equate strength with stoicism. Years later, at the dedication of a community center in an underserved Los Angeles neighborhood, someone captured a moment that went viral. Arnold, now in his 70s, knelt down to speak with a small boy who was clearly starstruck. Instead of the expected autograph or quick photo opportunity, Arnold asked the boy his name and then, visibly moved by whatever the child said in response, wrapped him in a genuine embrace. The cameras caught the whispered exchange, too quiet for microphones to detect, but the expression on both their faces spoke volumes about the power of authentic human connection. At a private dinner following the event, a longtime friend remarked on the change they had observed in him over the years since his surgery. "You've always been strong, Arnold," they said, "but now you seem at peace in a way I've never seen before." Arnold glanced out the window at the stars visible above the city lights. For a brief moment, those close to him would later recall, his eyes seemed to reflect something beyond the room, beyond the moment, beyond the ordinary world. "True strength," he said quietly, "isn't measured in muscles or millions, but in moments of genuine human connection." This story is a powerful reminder that even the most successful among us search for deeper meaning beyond achievement and acclaim. It asks us to consider what true strength really means in a world that often values external power over internal peace. Perhaps like Arnold, we might find that the connections we forge with others matter far more than the empires we build or the images we project. If this story touched something within you today, take a moment to reflect on your own definition of strength and success. Consider how you might create more genuine connections in your own life. And if you found value in this message, please share it with someone who might need this gentle reminder that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the ultimate form of courage. Like this video, subscribe to our channel for more stories that challenge and inspire, and join us in spreading a message our hurried, achievement-focused world desperately needs to hear. That in the end, it's not the battles we win, but the hearts we touch that truly matter.